Imagine this: Mercedes rising from the ashes, Aston Martin eyeing the genius Adrian Newey, the driver market more chaotic than a start in Monaco, Ferrari on an emotional roller coaster, and Perez sweating bullets at Red Bull. There's a lot happening, right? But don't worry, we're going to break it all down for you. Are you ready for this race of news? Then buckle up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any details of this season. Let's talk about Aston Martin and the buzz surrounding Adrian Newey. What a twist, folks! Aston Martin was flying high at the start of the season, right? But then all of a sudden, it seems like their car hit an invisible wall. The decline was so fast it left everyone scratching their heads. The updates they brought to Imola, they had no effect. And now Dan Fallows, the ideas guy, is feeling the pressure. So what does Aston do in a situation like this? Aim high, very high. And who's the target? None other than Adrian Newey, the wizard of aerodynamics. Just imagine. The guy who made Red Bull soar might now turn green. Rumor has it Newey even paid a visit to Aston's factory. And the talks with Lawrence Stroll, the team's big boss, seem to be hotter than tires after a qualifying lap. If this really happens, folks, it's a huge game changer. Think about it. Newey arriving in 2025, bringing all that championship-winning experience. Is this what Aston needs to make that leap in quality? Lance Stroll is already saying his dad is in F1 to win, not to play around. With an investment like this, you can see they're serious. But the big question remains. Can Newey work the same magic dressed in green? Could Aston Martin be the next big force in F1 with this move? Leave your opinions in the comments. Guys, who would have thought Mercedes would come back in full force, huh? It seems like the team finally nailed it with the W15. After 2 years of struggling, the guys at the factory managed to work their magic, and now the car is competitive on any type of track. Can you believe it? James Allison, the engineering wizard, finally cracked the code that was leaving everyone scratching their heads. You know that gap between what happened at the factory and what went down on the track? Well, they solved it. But wait, there's more. Toto Wolff has a smile from ear to ear. He said he didn't even expect to win in Austria or Silverstone. Just imagine what's coming next. The upcoming rounds in Budapest and Belgium promise even more updates. It's like Mercedes found the key to the vault and is now spreading improvements everywhere. And it's not just talk. Russell already took home the win in Spielberg, and Hamilton celebrated in Silverstone. The drivers are feeling more confident in the car, sensing that sweet balance that makes all the difference in the corners. It looks like Mercedes is back to its good old days. Will we see more silver podiums from now on? The championship is heating up, and the fight at the front promises to get even more intense. Oh, and if you're enjoying these analyses, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second and helps us out a lot. Alright, let's dive into the driver market, which is more chaotic than a qualifying lap in Monaco. First, let's talk about Mick Schumacher. The kid's in a tough spot, huh? After losing his seat at Haas, he's biding his time as Mercedes' reserve driver. Toto Wolff even tried to get him a spot at Williams, but it didn't work out. Now Mick's eyeing Alpine, but things aren't looking easy. The problem is there's not many seats left on the grid and a lot of people wanting to drive an F1 car. Mick is doing well in WEC, but it seems that's not enough to convince the teams. It's that old story, F1 is F1, right? But what really shook up the market was Hamilton's bombshell at the beginning of the year, announcing he's moving to Ferrari in 2025. Guys, this caused a domino effect. Now everyone is eyeing the Mercedes seat. And who's in the middle of this mess? Carlos Sainz. The Spaniard has several offers on the table. Mercedes, Alpine, and who knows what else, right? Meanwhile, Williams has their eye on Valtteri Bottas. Just imagine, Bottas back at Williams would be quite a story, wouldn't it? The thing is, one decision affects another. If Sainz decides quickly where he's going, it could change the plans of several teams. It's like that game of musical chairs, but with F1 seats worth millions. And in the midst of all this, we have teams like Alpine evaluating several options to replace Ocon. Does Mick have a shot there? Or will they opt for someone more experienced? And where do you think Sainz will go? The 2024 season isn't even over, and we're already excited to see what the 2025 grid will look like. Guys, look at the scenario ahead. Teams rising, engineering geniuses switching sides, drivers seeking new challenges. With so much happening behind the scenes, How will this impact the on-track battles? Will we see a shift in the team hierarchy? Just imagine. Mercedes back on top, Aston Martin with Newey revolutionizing the grid, new talents emerging, and veterans reinventing themselves. And amidst all this, we still have Ferrari and Red Bull trying to maintain their positions. What a season we have in store, right? But hold on, we still have a lot to discuss. Let's take a closer look at the challenges the Italian team is facing. Get ready, because Maranello has its engines running at full throttle, trying to overcome a tough phase. Let's talk about Ferrari, folks. The problem started at the Spanish GP. Ferrari came all excited with an update that was supposed to be the season's ace. But it backfired. The car started bouncing on the straights like it was on a rally track. Suddenly, the team that should be fighting for the lead became the fourth force on the grid. The idea was to let the car run lower, generating more downforce, but it turned into a puzzle for the engineers. Sainz managed some decent results, but it's clear that's more due to his talent than the car. And Leclerc? Poor guy had to revert to the old package in Silverstone because the situation was so desperate. But hold on. Ferrari isn't just sitting around. They're comparing data, doing tests, pulling all-nighters at the factory. The plan is to stick with the current package, maybe with some tweaks here and there, until the August break. After that, they promise to come out swinging. The big question is, will Ferrari be able to turn things around this year? Or is 2023 a lost cause, and the focus now is on preparing a killer car for 2025? One thing's for sure, team principal Frederick Vasseur is defending his drivers tooth and nail. He knows the problem isn't with the guys behind the wheel, but with what's under them. Guys, what a crazy season we're having, huh? On one side, we have Mercedes rising from the ashes like a silver phoenix. On the other, Aston Martin dreaming big with the possible arrival of the wizard Adrian Newey. And in the middle of all this, the driver market musical chairs that's making everyone's head spin. But what really stands out is how the F1 world can change in the blink of an eye. Yesterday it was Ferrari flying low. Today it's the Italian team struggling to understand their own car. Red Bull, which seemed unbeatable, now has a headache because of Perez. And what do you think will happen next? Will Mercedes dominate again? Will Aston Martin make a quantum leap with Newey? Will Ferrari manage to recover? And who will take the seat Hamilton leaves behind? Leave your predictions in the comments. Who knows, we might make a future video comparing what happened with what you predicted. Don't forget to give this analysis a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all the F1 twists and turns. Also, hit the bell icon so you don't miss any videos. See you next time, folks.